lot of ways to control somebody on side body, and it's like one of the most important things that we can do. All right, controlling somebody, keeping them down, wearing them out, and really stopping all their escapes. Okay, so the first one we're gonna do is called 100 kilo. All right, so I place this hand over the arm over. I'm gonna get an underhook underneath that head. All right, I'm gonna put my thumb inside the collar, and then I'm gonna block the hip. When I block the hip, what I'm gonna do with my left hip is I'm gonna sprawl. So I'm gonna sprawl the hip to the mat, putting a lot of pressure on this chin of my dummy. All right, my right knee is trying to touch the hip, and my left hand is just touching the mat. And you're really just trying to monitor the leg so they cannot go and elbow escape on the inside. All right, I'm gonna go back up, and now I'm back up. Okay, one more time. Underneath the head, thumb inside the collar, shoulder pressure, blocking the hip, sprawling that hip down, head up, right? Lots of pressure on the chest. You want to make sure you're sprawling that hip, creating a lot of pressure and focusing on the shoulder into that chin. That's one of the most important things, okay? All right? This hand's blocking, the knees touching the hip, and your left toe is on the mat. And if you need to use it to move your body up, you can move your body up if they're trying to push you off. With the head and arm, what we're gonna do is we put the hand underneath the head. Make sure this hand is always up close to that hip, underneath, okay? My knees touching, my feet are close to the body, and then I'm gonna take my underhook, all right? When I take my underhook, I'm gonna place my right hand on top and my left hand on the bottom. All right, I don't switch it up here just because my right hand might get caught. If they start to bridge, I at least could put the hand down. All right, and it's a lot quicker to do that. When I place my other hand underneath it and they start to bridge, the weight could stop the hand. I'm not gonna be able to have a hand to bridge, and it's harder to come out to turn the hand just to stop that bridge, okay? So I always place this right hand on top, all right? Shoulder pressure. Head down, you could be looking away, you could be looking right here, and you're just trying to hold that position, all right? Maybe they're trying to get out. I'm gonna transition back to my 100 kilo. If you guys watched the previous video, I put that thumb inside that collar, I drop my hip, and I block the hip, all right? Drop my left hip, my right knee's touching the hip, my hand's touching the leg, it's down, holding the guy, holding her, holding him, whoever it is, they're not getting out. All right, I go back up to my knees, back to the head and arm, knees up, hand underneath, right hand on top, pressure on top, and you got yourself a head. Another form of control is almost like the head and arm. So my left knee is by the ear, right? My right knee is by the hip, a pretty good base. Your base is not gonna be so wide that you're doing the splits. Very comfortable for you, okay? All right, so now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna place my left hand over the body, right? Over that head. When it's there, I pinch it into my knee. Now, my other hand's gonna go over and pinch towards the hip and pull it into the body so they're wedged in here, all right? I place both of my hands together. You could go like this as well, and this is an attacking position, okay? What we're trying to do here is hold them but also attack the arm at the same time, right? So you could see I could also do a straight arm bar, all right? If their hand started to come up here, I could do my Americana. If the hand came down here, I could switch the arms, right? And I could start to do my Kimura, okay? So there's a lot of things we could do from here. That's why I like to call it like an attacking position, because it's a little bit of a control, but there's some attacks that you can do as long as the hand is inside these arms, okay? If it was over here, there's really not too much of attacks, especially for the arm. He has an underhook. This is something that we don't want them to do. So you want to always make sure if they get that underhook, you place it underneath, you try to go back. And you could do this with the elbow. You could place the elbow down, fish it out, come down, and there's a lot of ways to do this. But this is a way to control. Knee pinches in, elbow pinches the head. Right elbow pinches the hip, pushing it against my other knee, and they're wedged in, hands here, ready to attack.